This is Partho Love Genesis with another tarot card reading. We have the Knight of Cups, followed by the Ace of Cups, followed by the Justice, by the Devil, and the Judgment. In this particular scenario, I'm getting the energy of a narcissistic stalker, but this narcissistic stalker is not really just fixated on a particular querent that they are trying to rekindle romance with. They actually are possessed by a demonic entity. And this entity having a lust for power is using this particular energy or force to try to trap the querent. They want to trap them with an illusory choice. They want them to think that there's love between them, but there isn't. This reading reflects a very dangerous interplay between the stalker's emotional desperation, as well as the demonic entity's manipulative grasp, and the querent's need to actually protect themselves in this situation and regain control over their life, because there's a dangerous, dangerous interplay going on here. The Knight of Cups represents the stalker's emotional pursuit, their romanticized and idealized version of love. However, in this particular case, the Knight of Cups also symbolizes the demonic entity's manipulations. The stalker is being used as a pawn in this game, and their emotions are distorted and heightened by this demonic force that's within them. The stalker really is attempting to win back the querent, whether through charm, manipulation, or magical efforts. But their choices are really no longer their own. They may seem like a passionate lover trying to reignite a flame between two lovers, but it's really the demon speaking through them that's using the illusion of love as a cover for its true purpose, draining the querent's life force. The Knight of Cups is not really here as a messenger of love, but rather as a deceptive figure who hides behind the darker forces at work beneath the surface, trying to drain fortune and energy. The Ace of Cups here represents the emotional renewal and the potential for true emotional fulfillment. For the querent here, this card signifies a fresh start, a new phase of emotional growth, healing, and spiritual abundance. However, the Ace of Cups here also highlights the stalker's twisted desire to reclaim this emotional bond between them, not out of love, but to siphon the querent's energy. The demonic entity through the stalker is seeking to drain the querent's emotional and physical and spiritual reserves in order to bolster its own power. It feeds on the love that the stalker projects, but this is really an unholy obsession. The querent's state of future emotional affairs is at stake here, because if the querent gives into this romantic sort of gesture, they may realize that all it really is just selfish energy siphoning. Now we have the Justice card here, which is a call for fairness, truth, and karmic balance. In this context, it speaks to the necessity of confronting the stalker and their demonic possession with a sense of moral clarity. The querent must take steps to protect their spiritual and emotional boundaries. Justice is reminding the querent that they have the right to protect their energy, their life force, their destiny from being stolen from this parasitic demonic influence. The stalker, under this demonic possession, may have led the querent into a false situation of betrayal or emotional confusion, which was by choice. The querent now needs to make sure that ties are thoroughly cut, like a cleansing ritual or seeking some sort of protection, whether that be spiritual or even legal. Therefore, justice here demands that the querent realize that this person is emotionally manipulative and that they must not give in to this person at any cost, because the outcome could be something that might harm them in the future from a very spiritual standpoint. We have the Devil card here, which represents the demonic entity that has possessed the Stalker. This card embodies temptation, obsession, and control. The Stalker is no longer simply acting out of their own motive or desire. They're being manipulated by a powerful force that's seeking to drain the querent's destiny, their vitality, their fortune, their opportunity, and their spiritual energy. The devil is trapped by the demon's influence here, unable to free from its control. The demonic entity wants the querent's spiritual power in a way that will allow it to grow stronger, using the stalker as a conduit. This card warns the querent that danger is not just emotional, but spiritual, and that the demon will try and bind the querent to them, whether through love spells, astral plane stalking, dream invasion, and any other method they can use to drain their energy and achieve greater power and control. The querent must be vigilant and take strong actions to break free from this negative spiritual influence. In real life, of course, if this really becomes persistent physically, they should probably seek a restraining order. The Judgment card here signifies the spiritual awakening, a reckoning, and the call for transformation. For the querent, judgment represents the moment of spiritual clarity and realization that they're becoming fully aware of the true nature of the stalker's behavior and the demonic entity that is controlling them. The querent is called to confront the situation head on, acknowledging the manipulation, the energy draining, and the threat to their destiny and well being. The judgment card here suggests that this is a moment of liberation. Once the querent sees the truth, they will be able to break free from the hold the stalker and that the demon have over them. There will be an awakening of spiritual power within the querent where they can take the necessary steps to protect themselves, such as banishing the entity or performing a ritual to cut energetic ties. Judgment implies that both the stalker and the demonic force will ultimately face karmic consequences for their actions, but the querent's personal growth and spiritual defense will allow them to break free from this cycle ultimately. So, in short, what is going on here is there's a great spiritual battle that's going on between these two individuals. And so we need to be mindful that the spread reveals that the narcissistic stalker is not acting solely out of emotional attachment, but is also being controlled by a demonic entity that seeks to possess the querent's spiritual energy and fortune. The Knight of Cups shows the stalker's emotional facade, manipulated by the demonic force here to appeal to the querent through passion, lust, and love, while the Ace of Cups reveals the stalker's true purpose, to drain the querent's emotional energy and prevent them from finding true emotional renewal. The Justice card here reminds the querent of their right to protection, urging them to take action against both the stalker and a demonic influence. The Devil confirms the presence of the demonic entity, which is using obsession, manipulation, and even magical means to keep the querent under tight control. Finally, the Judgment card here signals a moment of spiritual awakening for the querent, where they will confront the truth and break free from the cycle of energy draining and manipulation. In conclusion, this reading implies and emphasizes the need for the querent to protect themselves, not just emotionally, but spiritually, against the stalker and a demonic entity. The querent must rise above the manipulations, recognize the toxic forces at play, and take decisive action to reclaim their energy, peace, and spiritual autonomy. Through spiritual protection, karmic justice, and an awakening to the truth, the querent can overcome the dangerous and deceptive situation and regain their power. Keep in mind that there are many who are part of the 144,000 who are probably being targeted in this way. So this reading is not just for one specific person, but for a class or group of people who have natural gifts and talents from the Most High God, and that those gifts and talents and that direct connection to higher forces is what draws the stalker in, because as I indicated, the attachment to with the demonic entity causes that person to want to snuff out the life of the querent, snuff out their light entirely, and take everything that they have and pervert it to an evil purpose or means. If you enjoyed this message, please hit like, share, and subscribe. If you're new here, you're welcome all aboard. You know, this is a safe space. If you're returning, I love you so much. I'm glad that you're back. You make this channel great. Once again, in the name of the Most High God, I wish you health, wealth, prosperity, and abundance, blessings, and protection should you so deserve it. Woodman from Parth of Genesis Love signing off. Have a great